Hello devs, welcome back to Small Square. In this tutorial, we'll work on our C# scripts for our main menu scene. Before we get started, I'd like to let you know that this tutorial, along with many other exclusive projects and resources, is available on our Discord channel. It's the perfect place to engage with our community and access exclusive content. Just head over to our Patreon to get instant access. If you find value in what we do and want to see more content like this, consider supporting us on Patreon. Every contribution helps us to keep creating and sharing knowledge with our amazing community. Alright, let's go back to our video. First, go to your project window, open the scripts folder. Let's create a folder here. Let's name this one to main menu scripts. Let's create another folder. Name this one to main game scripts. Open your main menu scripts folder. Now we will create 3 scripts for our main menu scene. Let's name this one to main menu handler. Panel handler. And button handler. Open all these scripts. Go to your main menu handler script. We added singleton here for us to allow other classes to access the public methods and variables. We need also an array that consists of sprite for our image-based item category, a transform that will be a parent game object to assign the new created or clone game object as a child game object. We need also a reference for our 2-item prefabs, which is a text and sprite based. We have declared a string variable here, which will store the current panel that needs to activate. By adding this hide in inspector, this will hide the public variable to our inspector window. On our awake method, this will set the instance variable to the current instance of the script. We have declared a method here for our text-based item, and it has 2 integer parameters here named I and num. First, we declared a game object variable here named item, which will store the created game object. In here, we call the instantiate method, which will create new game object for our text-based item. After that, we will now set the text for our text-based item from the value of num, where it converts to a car. Since we're setting this to a text and this is a car, we need to convert it to a string by adding that to string. We have declared also a method here for our sprite-based item, and it has 2 parameters. We have to also instantiate the sprite-based item here and set the sprite of the new created game object corresponding to the sprite's item element. We declared a new method here named showTracingItems, which will show all the items based on a specified category. This parameter will specify which category will generate bonds based on the player choosing category. First, we need to destroy all the child game objects of items content. After destroying all the child game objects of items content, we will now add switch statement to generate tracing items bonds. The first one will be alphabet category. We initialize the for loop first here for our alphabet category. On our condition here, we have set the maximum iteration to 26 since this is a total number of the English alphabet. Inside this for loop condition, we have declared an integer variable named num that will store the sum of our variable I and 65, which is the ASCII corresponding value for uppercase A. This will loop till the value of num is 90, which is the ASCII corresponding value for uppercase Z. We called our setItemText method here and passed the value of our variable I and num. On our category number, we have for loop condition here. This will just iterate till the value of I is less than or equal to 9. Inside our for loop condition, we need to store the sum of our variable I and 48, which is the ASCII corresponding value for number 0. Just like alphabet category, we have to call our setItemText method here. This two category will be different from alphabet and number since this is a sprite-based item. Just like alphabet and number category, we have to initialize for loop condition here. In this for loop condition, this will just iterate till I is less than the size of an array named shapeSprites. Inside our for loop condition, we need to call the setItemImage method here. The same goes here for our line category. The only difference is just we have to change this to line sprites instead shape sprites, since this is a line category. We declared a public method here named quitGame, which will close the application. On our button handler, we won't need start and update method. We declared a public method here named activatePanel, and it has a string parameter which will pass the value to the panel name of our main menu handler. Using this method, we'll identify or specify which panel that needs to activate. We declared a string variable here to store the name of the panel. We have also a boolean variable here to specify whether the game is currently paused or in a run state. This method will handle the panel that needs to be enabled and disabled. On our if statement, it will check if the panel name of main menu handler is equals to the stored value of panel name of this panel. If it's true, then it will enable the first child game object of the panel. If it's not, then it will check first if the panel name is not equals to loading, then it will disable the first child game object. This method will handle the pause state of the game. If pause the game is equals to true, then it will check if the state of the first child game object is active. If it's true, then it will pause the game by setting the time scale to 0. Else, we will set the time scale to 1 to run the game. On our late update method, we have to call our two methods here and go back to Unity editor. Now select all our panels game object except to our main panel. Let's add a component. Let's type here panel handler. Now select first our category panel. In here, let's name this panel by its corresponding game object name without the panel word and make sure it's in a lowercase. Do the same to other panels that has a panel handler script. On our settings panel, make sure to check the pause the game. Now select our canvas. Let's add a component. Let's type here main menu handler. For us to keep our canvas game object on our inspector window, we need to click this small padlock at the top right of the inspector window. Go to your project window, open the sprites folder, go to shapes and lines item folder, select all our shape sprites, and let's drag it in here to set the reference for our shape sprites. Do the same for our line sprites. Go to your prefabs folder. Now let's drag our item text based prefab. And let's also drag our item image based. On our hierarchy window, expand the choose item panel. Now let's drag this item list game object to our items content. Let's add a button handler script to all our buttons. For example, on our start button, let's type here button handler. Click this plus icon to add an action. Drag our button handler script as our target object. Now go to button handler and select activate panel. Now let's set a value for our parameter on which panel should open after clicking this button. On our quit button, let's add an action. Drag the canvas here. Now let's call our quit game function. Continue adding some actions to all our buttons. For our 4 category buttons, add another action. Now let's drag our canvas game object to the target object. Go to main menu handler and select show tracing items. Now let's type the name of its category. Make sure to specify its corresponding button name. Let's check if it's working. Just click this play button. As you can see, it will create buttons based on its corresponding category. So that was pretty much a good fit for now. In the next part, we will dive into main game scene. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and comment down below, share with anybody you believe this might help. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to be notified.